give you a little bit about my background. I was working for a company in the UK, based out of Leatherhead in Surrey, and I was always very inspired by being in the UAE. I love the place. I saw the way the UAE was changing. I saw it as a pathway to Asia. I was looking at the Asia Pacific region, Southeastern Asian market, and for me it was, this is really exciting. And I saw the way the UAE was taking the world by storm. It was back in 2016 when I actually moved to the UAE, and I eventually started Aeras in 2017. Also at that crossroads of being the gateway to Africa as well. Now I'm always trying to look ahead 15 to 20 years and just see how things are shifting. So for me, that was an exciting journey to take, and I thought, why not? Let's get it going in the UAE. So yeah, I mean, look, for us, the first step is the US. You know, it's the biggest market in the world, and it dominates every market globally. You know, like I say, Asia is fast, it's catching up very fast. But I think we are positioned strategically very well. I mean, you know, we've got Cardiff in Wales, we have the UAE as a headquarter, and we have the US as a really, for us, a growing presence, and we've made ourselves known here on the continent, and that's growing, you know, more and more. Now, for us, our focus and shift is potentially towards military. That's something that we're currently looking at. So I'm really interested as to where it's going to take us. But more importantly, it's important that we've got boots on ground. That gives us, and gives our customers more so than anything, comfortability working with us. I would also say Asia and Africa are really interesting markets for us. I think probably more Asia Pacific region. I would like to potentially see a hub in Australia. I think it's an interesting place, and as with the Asia Pacific market growing, it will either be Australia or it'll be Singapore, it'll be one of the two. So look, there's a number of different things here that I need to touch on. So you have the, and I'll come back to the Asia Pacific market, because you have the Asia market who are predominantly looking to fly the 5B, 7B engines a lot longer than the rest of the world. So for us, it's important that we're able to remain in that market. However, what you're finding as well is, in terms of fuel efficiency and other technological factors, you're going to see the introduction of a lot of the LEAP engines, which is an area that we are looking to move into. Not to say that we're going to phase out the 7B or 5B engines, but LEAP is a significantly interesting area that we want to focus on. Now, does that transition happen at more of a rapid pace? Who knows? I think everything going on with fuel shortages and fuel prices skyrocketing, let's see what the impact is going to be. But for us, you know, we've been in this market a long time. We've got a lot of experience, you know. So we have Todd and we have Victor, who have a lot of experience in the in the industry, who are driving our model acquisitions. So when we buy an engine, we have to model the engine to ensure that we're able to get the right value extracted out of the engine. And so for us, it's a constant, continuous policing of the assets that we're currently focusing on. And that changes. It's very cyclical depending on the type of asset at what point. I think you saw it in COVID, in pandemic. There were a lot of assets that were going to be phased out, but due to the pandemic, a lot of the assets or fleet types remained in place. So we just have to be robust. And I think that's what it's about. It's about being robust. It's about communicating with each other. I think to understand what's going on in the market. I think that plays a big role. So for us, it's about people, making sure people are engaged, making sure they're understanding what's going on the global scale. So for us, you know, as I mentioned to you before, it's important that we've got the right team who is evaluating these opportunities. You know, doesn't make sense at this time. Like right now we're seeing 7B engine cores going for $4.5 million. For us, it doesn't make sense. It's not a good opportunity. For us, that's high risk. We need to be thinking about what are the correct price points that we're going to be entering into an opportunity, and what's the reward for that. And you have a lot of expensive money that's come into the market. There's also cheap money, and depending on where that money is coming from, depends on what type of appetite you're going to have. So we have a lot of private equity money as well, where that money can be spent, people can be more aggressive. We don't have that luxury. So we have to be we've put a lot of thought into the type of assets that we're entering into and how we exit out of those assets, in the black. Absolutely. I think this is, you can't be opening organically, and just one of the topics of conversation at this MRO. It's been great. We've been able to bounce off some of our existing partners who we work with, and some new ones as well. So it's very exciting times. But in order for us to grow the business, it is important for us to, take on and merge with other entities. Does it mean a small percentage stake in another company, or does that mean we take over a company fully? It's still very early days. We've still got a lot of work to do with our current business, and for us, it's a marathon, not a sprint. We want to be around for the next 20 years. So it's important that if we are going to enter into a partnership or an M&A deal, that it's the right type of deal, with a business that complements what we do. So this is one of the areas that I've really focused on over the past 2 years. We have encouraged our teams in-house to focus on the introduction of AI, critical for us, for our modeling purposes, for our assets. We need to be able to make faster, quicker, smarter decisions with the help of AI. This is not a tool to replace what we're currently doing or replace people, but it's something that we need to use to aid their role. You need to train the AI the right way. You need to give that the time. And a lot of people just think, oh, it's technology. Let's just, it doesn't work. So, things do take time, and we have to give it the respect that it deserves. At the same time, for us, data integrity is important to us. It's really key that our, internal systems, we utilize them the right way. And for us, we're spending a lot of money to ensure that we integrate that with our Monday.com and some other systems that we use. We need to be everything under one roof and interact together. So for us, it's very, very key.